Hello everyone, once again welcome back to the channel Wealthy Health. I hope you're all doing good and looking after your health. I'm doing good too. So today I would be talking about one of the rumors which is going on in recent times. That's regarding the sunscreen. So the rumors is that they say that there are many rumors saying about the sunscreen, that if you're using the sunscreen on a continuous basis, it can cause skin cancer. Is it true? Let's find out in today's video. So today in today's video, actually I would be telling about some of the questions people have asked regarding the sunscreen, whether if they have any effects on the skin, is it dangerous to use the sunscreen like on an everyday basis. So there are some questions, and one of the famous assistant professor in Harvard Medical School have answered in a very good manner regarding all the sunscreen rumors or the questions. She have answered it. So I would be talking about all the questions what people have asked and what was the answer given to that to that question, so we might not have all these kinds of confusions in our mind regarding the sunscreen. Yes. So like, if you have ever searched online for information about sunscreen, what you found may have made you like feel less than sunny about slathering on these lotions and creams. So what are basically the sunscreens? So sunscreens are designed actually to protect your skin from the sun's damaging rays. So but some of the claims made it suggest that it could do more harm than good. So assertions actually include everything from statements that sunscreen is ineffective to warnings that is outright dangerous. Even some writers even go as far as to state that sunscreen may even cause skin cancers thanks to a purported harmful cocktail of toxic ingredients. That's enough to darken your day, right? Yes. But there are these statements. So are these statements true? So like Dr. Jennifer Lynn, she's an assistant professor of the dermatology at Harvard's Medical School, and even she is a co-director of the Melanoma Risk and Prevention Clinic at the Brigham and Women's Hospital. So she have answered some of the questions what people have asked regarding the sunscreen, and also she's given some answers. So I would be now telling about what all questions people have asked and what were the answers given by her. Okay, so there are some questions asked to us. So the first question which is asked her is are there like certain chemicals in the sunscreen that people should avoid? So the answer which she gave was that like there are two types of sunscreens. One is the physical blockers. They reflect the ultraviolet rays which comes from the sun, and they contain one or two active ingredients, that is the zinc oxide or the titanium dioxide. Another group of sunscreen is the chemical blockers. They contain chemicals that absorb the sun's ultraviolet rays. So in US and all, these typically include the amino benzoic acid, avobenzone, octisalate, octocrylene, and oxybenzone. So these are some of the typical chemicals which are present in this chemical blockers. So oxybenzone has actually received the worst press because of the concerns that it may act as what is known as a hormone disruptor. So a hormone disruptor is a chemical that has the ability to cross the cell membranes and may interfere with your body's natural hormone production. But she says that there have been no conclusive evidence that oxybenzone is harmful to humans. So organizations that have raised concerns about the oxybenzone typically cite studies done in rats, where the rats were actually fed the oxybenzone. So it would take an individual like 277 years of sunscreen use to achieve the equivalent systemic dose that produced effects in these rat studies. So according to a 2017 study in the Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology, oxybenzone is also known to cause the allergic reactions in some people, although this is not common. So even if you avoid sunscreens with oxybenzone, you may even encounter it in other products, including the plastic, hairspray, and nail polish. So at this point, we are not recommending our patients this is what the doctor have said, okay? and this is not my opinion, this is what the answer given for that question. This is what the doctor have concluded. At this point, she recommends that like the patients avoid the sunscreens with all these kind of chemicals like the oxybenzone, and if people choose to do so, they should be aware that the chemical exists in many other common products of their daily use. Even if they avoid sunscreen also, this chemical is also present in some other products like nail polish, the hairspray, including even the plastics, everything. So this can get to our body, into our body, through all these kinds of products. So try avoiding these kind of chemicals, the products which do contain these kind of chemicals. Okay. Second question what was asked is that, is there evidence that sunscreen actually causes skin cancer? Okay, now this is the answer. So she says no to that, because she says that these conclusions come incorrectly from the studies where individuals who used sunscreen had a higher risk of skin cancer, including the melanoma. So this false association was made because the individuals who used the sunscreen were the same ones who were traveling to sunnier climates and sunbathing. So in other words, it was the high amounts of sun exposure and not the sunscreen that elevated the high risk of skin cancer. So this is the answer for your question, whether it causes skin cancer. The third question was that some claim that sunscreen doesn't prevent the three main types of skin cancer. Is this true? Now, the answer for that is also, she answered is that no. So there are excellent studies that sunscreen protects against all three of the most common skin cancers: squamous cell carcinoma, basal cell carcinoma, and the melanoma. So the degree of protection with the sunscreen provides is directly related to the degree of which ultraviolet radiation is associated with the formation of the skin cancer. So for instance, in prospective studies of the sunscreen, the incidence of squamous cell carcinoma is reduced the most, as much as 40% over 4 years. So there are changes when you started using it, because the usage of sunscreen have increased a lot. So there have been, they have reduced to 40% in the 4 years. Yes. Now, another question was it says that one online article claims that sunscreen is actually poisoning people, and was that true? She said that she don't think that there's an evidence for that sunscreen is poisoning the humans. The question was that, are the nanoparticles that are used in sunscreens with titanium dioxide and zinc oxide harmful? So the answer was given the manufacturers use nanoparticles in the physical sun blockers. As she mentioned before about there are two types of sunscreens, which are physical blockers and chemical blockers. So manufacturers, they use nanoparticles in physical sun blockers. Okay, so nanoparticles are actually made using a process called the micronizing that breaks up larger particles. So this makes the sunscreen easier to apply and allow them to disappear into the skin, in contrast to the greasy white sunblocks of the past. Yes, so that's why we get all these sunscreens which do easily get absorbed in our skin. It's very light when it gets easily absorbed because of the nano particles which is present in the sunscreen. And she said that she thinks that the physical blockers are much easier to use now that they are frequently micronized. So nanoparticles have not been shown to penetrate beyond the level of the skin and migrate into your bloodstream, which means that they are unlikely to create any kinds of health risk. Okay. The last question what was asked was that, does everyone need to use sunscreen? And the question was asked they have heard some people say that they don't need to wear it because they have darker skin than tans well. Okay, so the answer given for that particular question was that she said that sunscreen for skin cancer prevention, including the melanoma prevention, which has been demonstrated in the cohort studies as well as the prospective randomized trials. So given that darker skin patients have a very low risk of skin cancer, using sunscreen for skin cancer prevention is not necessary. So, however, people looking toward of the aging effects from sun would still benefit from sun protective habits, which include the sunscreen, sun protective clothing, and even the sun avoidance. So it says that those who are dark skinned are less what. What to say, they are at a low risk to the kinds of skin cancers. But those who are mostly want, they are aware, or they want to have their skin like the aging of if they consider about the aging of the skin, can use the sunscreens on a daily basis. It's okay to use sunscreens on a daily basis, and more importantly, try to avoid places too much of exposure of sun, and even try to wear some sun protective type of clothing. There are some like three sun safety tips. So one is like, don't depend just on using the sunscreens. Your best strategy is to avoid the sun exposure when possible. Yeah, that is true. See, always just because we're using sunscreen, that doesn't mean that we can go onto the sun and just get exposed for a too long time, because that can. So sunscreen can it might be there on our skin for a few minutes, then it might we sweat a lot, and it might go. That's where everyone says we should apply it every 2 hours, but it might not be very possible at some time to apply it every 2 hours. So try avoiding like too much of exposure of the sun. Now, the second one is sun protective clothing. That is have become increasingly popular, and it is a very nice addition in addition to using the sunscreen. So try to wear some sun protective kind of clothing in addition to your sunscreen. The third one is, remember that sunscreen needs to be reapplied approximately every 2 hours. See, that's what I told. It's very good if you can apply the sunscreen every 2 hours. So the effect of the chemical sunscreen wanes after you apply it, and most sunscreens tend to be sweaters. That's what I told. See, when we go to this, when we get out into the sun, we actually sweat a lot, and that can remove the sunscreens. Sunscreen tend to go away from our skin. So it's always recommended to use it like try to apply it every 2 hours. I know it might not be possible like in every situation to apply the sunscreen every 2 hours. So try to avoid these kind of environment like this so much. If it's like very hot, see, nowadays it's very hot, so people even recommend not to go outside and spend time between 12 and 3 o'clock, because that is the time it's the most, it is a very very hot time. So please avoid that kind of time when you're going out spending time. So try to go outside, or try to spend your time like in the morning time, or after 3 o'clock or something. So that would be the suitable time for you to spend outside, because it is very hot these days. Yes. Okay, so these are some of the common things or common questions asked by people to the doctor, as I told before, to the professor in Harvard Medical School. So these are some of the questions, and these are the answers. So as I told, there was a rumor, and there is a rumor still going on about sunscreens are very bad and it is very dangerous if you use it continuously. No, and the answer is no. You can use it on a daily basis. Don't worry about it. And you can use sunscreens which are kinds of physical blockers. There are chemical and physical. It's best to use is the physical blockers, because it do contain the nanoparticles which helps the sunscreen to get easily absorbed to our skin. Yes, so I hope we might all have all these kinds of confusions, we must have all heard about all these rumors. So I think this is the answer for all your confusions and all your questions. Yes. And along with that, even I do have one sunscreen with me. This sunscreen I've been using for a long time, and it is not almost over. It is not like almost over. It is over. I'm using this continuously for before and all. I don't use the sunscreens. I was not much aware about using sunscreens on a daily basis, but then all of a sudden I used to have sun allergy. Like my skin started wearing off. I did have all kinds of sun allergies, or my skin, I used to get red rashes on my entire body wherever sun hits. They're all I used to get the skin rashes, everything. I didn't know what was the reason. Then I had to, you know, check with the professionals. So they told me it might be a sun allergy, but because there was no other allergies found, they made many kinds of blood tests, everything was normal, and they said that it is a sun allergy. So from that on, so they asked me to use sunscreen whenever I go out, to use sunscreen. So that was the point that I started using sunscreen on a daily basis, and this was the first sunscreen I started using till now. Until this day, I'm using this company product, and it's very good sunscreen. So even I would just like to tell about the sunscreen, and it is actually over. I need to get a new one. Yes. Okay, so as I think you all can see this sunscreen very clearly. Okay, I would just tell about the sunscreen. It is the sunscreen which is made by the Derma company. It is an Indian brand, and it do have SPF 50, and okay, it supports the UVA, UVB. It helps in protecting from the UVA, UVB, and even the blue light. So what is exactly this UVA, UVB, blue light? We have seen in every sunscreen, they have written like UVA, UVB, and all. So what is it exactly? Okay, UVA, UVB are the two kinds of ultraviolet rays. So the UVA is the ultraviolet A, and ultraviolet B. Okay, so ultraviolet A rays are mostly associated with the aging of skin. So when those kind of ultraviolet rays falls on our skin, that is what actually causes the aging of skin, and it do have a longer wavelength. That is the UVA. UVB, that is the ultraviolet B, do have a shorter wavelength, and that is associated with the skin burning. That causes the skin burning, itching, and all. Yes. And what is the blue light? That also comes from the sun, and that blue light actually causes a shrinkage of cells in the skin, and it can also cause death. Too much of blue light from the sun can cause shrinkage in the cells of the skin, which can further cause like all these kinds of skin cancers. So that can even lead to death. So that is what is UVA, UVB, blue light. So this sunscreen actually protects from all these three kinds of UV rays. Yeah. And what are the main ingredients? It do have 1% of hyaluronic acid. Okay, in yesterday's video also I have just mentioned about what is hyaluronic acid. It's a very natural substance which is present in our body, so it decreases as we age on. And when all these kinds of ultraviolet rays falls on us, it actually reduces all these kinds of damages our skins. But this kinds of sunscreen do have 1% of hyaluronic acid, which always nourishes our skin. It acts as a barrier from all these kinds of ultraviolet rays. Yes. And then it do have vitamin E. So the main two ingredients are hyaluronic acid and vitamin E, which is both are very good for our skin. As I've told, not only for our skin, but overall for our hair, for skin, for our body, it's very good. Another thing is that this sunscreen is fragrance free. I recommend always when you're using products like skincare products, I think that products which is fragrance free are more better than the ones with more fragrance. Like some people might be allergic to too much of fragrance. I'm a person who can't handle such kind of fragrance, too much of fragrance. So I go always for this one because it is fragrance free. There are many brands. There are many products of sunscreen. There are many different kinds of brands of sunscreen which are fragrance free. Okay. So, and this is a kind of aqua gel kind of sunscreen. It is not like in a matte texture is the aqua gel. So it's very very lightweight, and it is very easily absorbed to our skin. Yeah, so so when we apply to our skin, it easily absorbs to our skin, and there won't be any white patches, no white there won't be any white marks or white patches on our face. No. So that is about this sunscreen. And the sunscreen is also paraben and mineral oil free, and it is sulfate and dye free. Yeah, it is free from all these kind of chemicals, everything. It is a natural kind of sunscreen. Yes. So if you're planning to use a sunscreen, if you're a person who's not using sunscreen till now, if you're planning to use, you can go for this sunscreen, which is very good. I do love this product. I need to get a new one because it is almost over. I don't think it's there because okay, I'll just show a little. That is the only. Okay. This is the small thing I have. Actually, the bottle is empty. It's over. I need to get a new one. Okay. So yeah, so I've just taken a small patch. That is the only thing which is left in this bottle. So this is in the white color. It has a creamy texture. So I'm just showing you. See, it's very lightweight. It easily gets. You can apply it very easily, and see, nothing can be seen. It gets easily absorbed on our skin. I hope you can all see that. Okay. So that is all about the sunscreen. So if you want to try a new sunscreen or something, you can go for this. I do have SPF 50. So this is a 50-gram bottle. It is like a pump bottle. You can pump it. So you can take according to your convenience how much quantity you need. So it's very easy to use. It's a pumping bottle. So I think you also get it in a tube also, but I don't know. So this is a 50-gram bottle. Yes, I bought it like online basis. So I love this. So if you planning to use the sunscreen, if you want to try a new brand or something, you can go for this. This is the Derma company. You might have all seen this bottle, right? Yes, there might be many of you who might be using it. So yes, so that's all for today. So if you like today's video, I hope this is very much helpful for you, because this is something which is important, and we use this in our daily lives, like for every day. Every time we move outside, we every time use the sunscreen, and then we move out. Yes. So so please feel free to put forth your comments if you're using this the one which I showed you, if you're using the sunscreen, or if you would like to use the sunscreen, or if you have any doubts regarding the sunscreen, usage of sunscreen. If you have any doubts, feel free to put forth your comments in the comment box. I hope you liked today's video. So please do share this with all your family and friends, because this is one of the confusions. These are some of the questions what everyone might have in their minds. Yes. Okay, so I hope you liked my video, today's video. So until I come up with a new video, everyone please take care, look after your health, and be healthy. So take care, and bye-bye.